Orange is the New Black was kind of onto something a few years back, but women's correctional facilities, women's prisons, kind of crazy places. I seen this article and I just thought, got to talk about this because it's absolutely bonkers. Sex for KFC. I'm sorry, what? See, it immediately grabbed my attention. What really happened between guards and inmates at a California women's prison where Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman served time as it shut down over a certain type of scandal? Yeah, if you remember, a few years back, Lori Loughlin, Felicity Huffman, a couple of other marginally famous actresses were caught up in a pay-to-play scandal, not like the ones that we're going to be talking about, but in order to get their children preferential treatments at schools, basically got caught up in this big bribery scandal and ended up having to do a couple of weeks at Club Fed. But a peek behind the curtain kind of shows how crazy this situation is, depending on your level of affluence, we'll say on that. Notorious prison in California, known as a club by inmates and Club Fed for celebrity inmates like Felicity Huffman, Lori Loughlin, will be closed down after years of rampant abuse by staff against female prisoners. Some of the inmates at FCI Dublin, located about 21 miles east of Oakland, she's in a nice part of town, were already being moved to other prisons on Monday, where officials with the Federal Bureau of Prisons announced plans to close the facility. Bureau of Prisons Director Colette Peters, another woman in the Biden administration, color me surprised, confirmed to Daily Mail that the agency took unprecedented steps and provided a tremendous amount of resources to address culture, recruitment, retention, aging infrastructure, just shutting down the place and then just distributing all of the poorly behaving guards. Yeah, you're really addressing the problems. It was the building that was causing all of these problems, not the people that were working there. Despite these steps and resources, we have determined that FCI Dublin is not meeting expected standards, and the best course of action is to close the facility. The decision is being made after ongoing evaluation of the effectiveness of these unprecedented steps and additional resources. So a lot of your taxpayer money went to determining that, there's some guards that are acting up. We should probably close this prison, huh? A judge had appointed a special master to oversee reforms at FCI Dublin after a bombshell investigation in a 2021 report revealed prison staff were we're doing things with inmates. It's weird, right? Because sometimes you would have female corrections officers in the male penitentiaries and they get caught on camera. And hell, some of them end up going on a multi-day love cruise halfway across the country from Florida to Alabama. It's kind of crazy how that ends up. Oh no, it was from Alabama to Indiana. Yeah, that was at the beginning of last year. It's not like you can't find countless videos of female corrections officers leaving the cells of a prisoner, adjusting their jumpsuit in the aftermath. No. This is something that happens all the time, but you don't want to address that. You need to protect all women, right? Even the convicts. Sex between a prisoner and a worker and inmate is illegal. No, because correctional employees could use their positions of power over the wards, which is definitely happening here. At least 8 FCI Dublin employees so far have been charged with abusing inmates since 2021. That's it. 8 in 3 years, and you're shutting down the building. I'm not saying that it's bad. Or that it's not bad. Rather, I'm just saying, it's like could have found a little bit more if you're trying to tell us that it's this terrible. Former Hollywood madam Heidi Fleiss, who served 3 years for tax evasion and money laundering charges at FCI Dublin between 1997 and 2000, told the Daily Mail that it was common knowledge guards had relationships with the prisoners. Fleiss said that she was shocked the prison is closing, but was not surprised that the guard on inmate abuses continued years after she did her time at Dublin, because everyone knew it was happening all the time. Now, you're just using the simple definition of a power dynamic, a power imbalance that is leading to abuses that ends up happening. Because as you can see, the way that it's set up, it's not like anybody's being forced on one another. They're just simply being propositioned. But because they are, yes, in fact, wards of the state, and they're probably placed in precarious situations, it's a little bit different of a situation. But we are, once again, even apologizing for criminals. I was there. There were inmates eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, okay, cool. All of them were just sucking on drumsticks. It was the weirdest thing. And you knew right away that they were, taking care of the guards because the fried chicken definitely didn't come from the prison menu. Yeah. I remember one woman told me, "Hey, look at this." And she showed me her lingerie when she was eating KFC. Sorry, what? All I said to her was, "Oh, that's nice." But what I really thought was none of my girls had to, do anything for fried chicken. It's like, yeah, Yeah, she was pimping hoes nationwide, and nobody got paid by the bucket. Fleiss said she initially did 4 months of her time at the faculty's medium security camp, which is known as Club Fed, where other famous inmates like Felicity Huffman and Loughlin did their time for their involvement in the college admissions scandal. After she threw a chair to guard, Fleiss said that she was sent to the big house at Dublin, where she saw moldy carpets. Yeah, she said that she's seen the lingerie of one of the different types, and cells that were dilapidating. During her 3 years at Dublin, Fleiss said one of her former prison pals started having relations with a guard member named Heidi, who is known by all the female inmates as a flirtatious charmer. Former prison guard John C. Heidi was eventually charged with 17 counts of taking care of inmates and 5 counts of lying to investigators. He was accused of asking 2 inmates to perform acts with each other. Yo, this guy's big pimping in prison. And allegedly received oral treats. There we go. There's the throwback from an inmate. He was also charged with engaging in 14 acts with at least 2. How can you charge somebody? Okay, just tangent for a second. If you're going to be receiving oral treats and you're trying to say that somebody was doing that against their will, I'm just saying there's one specific mechanism that prevents anything untoward from happening to you in those specific situations. I'm just saying. He was also charged with engaging in 14 acts with at least 2 inmates and lying to the Department of Justice investigators. Wow, this guy's all over the place. He's the guy holding a monster, and some people would refer to him as such. My friend would have relations with Heisen, and he brought her treats. Well, pro quo, as it were. But she found out, but when she found out he was having relations with other inmates, she got pissed. We talking women, man. Even though we talking inmates, we talking criminals, we still talking women, man. Heisen pleaded guilty in 99 to 4 charges of illegal acts, 1 charge of attempting to engage in an act, and 1 charge of making a false statement to the FBI. Fleiss said during her time at Dublin, the prison was busting at the seams, and so was Officer Garcia, and was overcrowded with about 2,400 inmates. She recalled the time when she had to share her small prison cell with 3 other women. Oh no, heaven forbid. We don't have luxurious standards for criminals. I remember asking them if I could use the toilet, if I could get some privacy. You're in a small room with 3 other women. I don't think that's going to happen. And one of them said, "You think you're special?" It was probably sung to Limp Bizkit's lyrics, because this was 99 after all. You need to, take a dump in a Ziploc bag, or you sit on the toilet now and you take that. As was forcefully coerced by one of her cellmates, rather. Fleiss added, "I almost started crying. Yeah, there were many times I felt in fear for my life, because I was there with murderers." Yeah, well, you shouldn't have thrown a chair at the guard. You would have been fine in Club Fed. Okay, and if you played your cards right, you could have got yourself a finger-licking good bucket. Hey, man, taking a look at a cell, that doesn't look too bad, okay? It's got bunk beds and all that stuff. Like, it's not bad. You got your own sink. Looks great. Looks great. Like I said, outside of married prison guards having an affair with inmates, there also was a self-deletion and a prison escape during her time at Dublin. There was a lot of evil women in there. Trust me, they really were really evil. Yeah, we could probably take a look at the inmate records and deduce that conclusion as well. I didn't know all of them, but some of them should never have been let out. BOP officials would not confirm which other prisons the women will be transferred to for security reasons, but there's this wonderful thing called the Department of Corrections where you can go ahead and look up any inmate across the country, and as long as they're in a Fed pen, you can go ahead and figure out where they're going to be. The last official day, when Dublin must close its doors, remains unclear, but the BOP officials said no current employees will lose their job. Oh, shucks! So it's almost like what we figured out right there at the beginning. None of the people leading to the closure of the facility are going to end up losing their jobs. So you're kind of doing a Catholic Church, a hide the cardinal type situation by just, spreading around the offenders around the country. Good job, Department of Corrections. Never change. While I'll listen to some people when they're talking about prison reforms because you see shady practices just like this. I'm not saying for lenient sentences. I'm not saying for more accommodating situations for prisoners. I'm just saying that there's a rotten problem with the prison, but it mostly starts with administration. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.